Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God designed, God designed.
Boy, buddies, what's the deal? My headphones at what's going on? Yes, we made it. We back again. Another week has passed and we survived. What a beautiful time to be alive. Yes, dog time all the time. Welcome to the Exotic Boerboel Show. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman. And today I come to you, as I always do, with my personal experience. I'm here to arm you with education and information, empower you with knowledge, not only as a sword, but also as a shield to defend yourself. This is the Boerboel breakdown and discussion. And today, I could not miss. I got a ton of things going on. This is straight off the top of my head. No notes, no preparation. Been busy as I could, as I always am. And I said, you know what? I don't want nobody to think that for 1 minute, Exotic Boerboel is missing in action. We had, well, let me bring y'all up this week. We was going back and forth with someone, a Boerboel country. It's a Zane, supposedly a Boerboel expert. And I feel like there's space for everyone in the Boerboel arena. Sometimes you're going to have high end, what I consider a dog fancy. Hey, auntie. Then you got the dog enthusiasts, you got a dog fanatics, you got the pet owners, and I feel that we can all exist. It don't have to be no. There is no right or wrong. It's 1,000 ways to get to 10. You know, 9 plus 1, 2 plus 8, 7 plus 3. What I'm saying to you is there. With these dogs, we all have different needs. We all have different styles. We all have different preferences. There is no right and there is no wrong. I invite you to join in the conversation. JD, what's up, man? Come on in. How them dogs doing? You know I want to see some dogs. But I don't want anyone. I want everyone to understand this too. If you a Boerboel personality and you in the Boerboel space and you call yourself coming into because I don't go on other people's pages. I mean, you got to have something really good in order to elicit a comment from me. If you want me to say, you got just put up a good dog, and that's all they have to do. I'm gonna say, hey, good job, good dog, whatever, nice dog, and keep it pushing. If I don't have anything to say, then I don't want to say anything at all. I'm not like one of these people that feels as though they have to superimpose their ideas or their ideals on everyone else. What's up, family? I feel that we all have uniqueness, differences, and I celebrate them. I welcome them. I'm not one to judge anyone. And I'm happy if you would like to join the conversation, you're welcome. We're going to break down quite a few words. We're going to get into this. I'm so happy to see a lot of stuff. Boerboel people, not only Boerboel people, hold on, my fault. Instagram, my bad. I'm seeing tons of people in the Boerboel space, though, and not only the Boerboel space, but in the dog community in general, talking about line breeding, talking about breeding dogs, inbreeding, crossbreeding, some things that I've been very interested in from the very beginning. And I'm starting to realize and understand why no one wanted to answer those questions about what is a purity, when does a breed arrive at purity, what makes a breed pure, what makes a breed mix. No one has no one had the answer. Those are very tough questions. And it's kind of like a taboo to discuss in the dog space. But we're gonna break it down. I felt that it wasn't very necessary because people keep throwing around these words loosely. I want to break it down so you can get a full, complete understanding of Why is it significant, and what does it mean to you? Yeah, so everybody, this is really all about information though. And we want you to have the best opportunity, the best chances at success, and you can learn from our experience. You can learn from our experience. You can get the lesson without the lump. You don't have to suffer, don't have to cost you pain, time, and energy. And that's valuable. I wish that I had a channel like this when I was first started out in the Boerboel space, because there was nowhere for me to turn to. And it was like a lot of gatekeeping going on. Here, very different. Our goal is to share and exchange information. Iron sharpens iron. We all trying to get better. I'm never done learning. I'm open to different ideas, concepts. So, with that being said, you know what time it is. Let's run it down. First word that we're gonna break down is cross. What is a cross? Well, a cross means that you simply have mixed or bred two dogs who are unrelated to one another. So you could cross a bully to a boxer. That would be a cross. If you breed a bully to a boxer, that's a cross. And it's very different than a simple mix. That's like that's doing a mix. That's, hey man, let's make some new dogs. Let's mix this and mix that. When you crossing, that means you're saying, okay, you have identified certain traits or characteristics that you want to see in this breed, and then you say, okay, I got in this bloodline, I have these strong head or these strong features or these strong characteristics, and I would like to cross these two together and try to create something new with virtues from both sides of the. So we want to take some of the strengths from the mother. We want to take some of the strengths from the father. We're going to cross them together, create something very different, something new, something with both sides of the pedigree, both features, traits, and characteristics. That's what you call a cross, full-blooded. You hear a lot of the old timers and the old guys, they'll say this. That's the original dog man. Now, you can have what is a full-blooded dog? All that means is you have information about the lineage, information about, you have the history. You got the grandparents, the parents, the mother, the father, the great-grandparents, so on and so forth. And it all that means when you hear someone say, my dog is full-blooded, that means that he knows where this dog's origins from the start to the finish. That means that he knows the history. He can predict with some reliability how this dog is going to produce, what type of puppies he can expect when he breeds the two. What are they going to look like? How are they going to behave? Salute to the Balazade Boerboel family. What's going on? Yes, you know I wasn't ducking no smoke. So that's full-blooded. That means that we have the information, both sides of the lineage, both sides of the pedigree, and we know with some consistency or some reliability how we can predict whether the puppy's going to be like. Let's get into it. Let's keep on breaking it down, running it down. Who running it down? Come here if you would like to get this information, tools and news that you can use. Don't nowhere else to be found on the internet. You're not going to get it like this, live and direct, uncut, raw, and unfiltered. Pure blood. What does this mean? I didn't prepare no slides. I just said, look, I'm not going to keep on. Yes, Boerboel's is. We're gonna get into that. That's a great question, Midnight. I'm gonna answer that for you. But straight off the top of the head, y'all, I didn't have no time to prepare. Pure blood. What does that mean? Pure blood. Well, hold on. Before we get off into pure blood, full blood, and so on and so forth, let's talk about registries, registration, and the roles of the organizations. When you talk about a registered dog, all that means, there you go. That's my bro right there. Right out. One of the things when you're talking about full blood, purity, pure blood, registration, all what we're trying to do is assess value. Okay. When me as a breeder, I'm curious, I'm interested. I would like to know because of these breedings are very you got so many breedings in your career. You got so much time in your career. When you have a litter of puppies, you're talking about, could potentially be 2 to 3 years of moving forward or 2 to 3 years of moving backwards. What's up, white bro? So every breeding counts. Every breeding is very important. You track this information. I would like to know with some reliability what I can produce. So I'm trying to peek into the future. Remember that breeding is like a science experiment. I have a hypothesis. First of all, I have a problem. Then we have a solution. We have a hypothesis. If I breed this dog to this dog, we're going to arrive here. And then we have our actual results. Once we get to the results, we're going to try to say, compare the results to our hypotheses. Now, when you're talking about registration organizations, the role of the registration, the organization, is to track the pedigree, because people die, but the legends continue to live. We still would like to chase certain bloods, certain lineages, certain characteristics and traits that was valuable in the past, that was an asset in the past. We like to recreate that in the future. We want to recreate that in future generations, or we want to preserve those traits and characteristics and abilities, because it made us a champion hunter. It made us a champion trapper. It made us a champion whatever, dock diver. So we're trying to preserve these traits and characteristics. Therefore, we're going to track the pedigrees, and we're going to send it to a non-biased third party. Non-biased third party. That means that they're simply there to record this information that I sent to you. Now I'll tell you how I fell out with these Boerboel organizations. I sent my paperwork into the organization. I done sent my money in. And then they're calling me up and they're questioning me. Why did I choose to name a dog Gina 6? Why did I choose? First of all, you're overstepping your boundaries. You don't call me up questioning me about what I chose to do with my money and how I chose to name my dogs. And y'all got dogs named Hitler. Don't ask me no questions about what I chose to do and how I do it, how I'm doing it. Then when I get to the appraisal, you're going to tell the appraiser that I've been a bad boy. Well, who are you to judge my behavior? I'm done. That was the last appraisal that I ever been to. Now, I ain't never. What I'm telling you is the Boerboel registrations and the pedigrees and the organizations is biased. They breeder clubs ran by breeders. And what they tend to do is prefer their own styles and types. So that's the whole reason for this conversation today. This is why we have to really stay focused on the dogs. What's important is the dog. What can your dog do? Show me. What can you do? Prove it. All of this talk about symmetrics and aesthetics and is it barrel chested? Is it got more jaws? And that it means nothing. What can your dog do? What can you do? What can you prove? Show it. That's the data that truly matters. All of that, is it correct? Stop and all of that. That's what people put on the dogs to increase their own value, to justify their own breedings. Oh, yeah, my dog's got a nice amount of jaws up under the bottom. That means nothing. Can the dog run? Can your dog breed? I see people with dogs merely standing still and is out of breath, heavy panting. Oh, well, it's in the sun. But are you serious, bro? Are you serious, bro? You trying to justify to me that your dog supposed to be a working breed and it can't even breathe without it can't even. It's heavy panting, just standing still, just laying down, just getting up. Your dog can't even get up without taking deep breaths, heavy panting. You call your dog a working dog? You calling your dog a Boerboel? That's not a Boerboel. It's a replica. It's an imitation. It appears Boerboel-like, but it's not a farm dog. That's a cur. It's a cull. And it does not contribute to the exotic Boerboel familia because we is interested in function, balance. You can't stand up without heavy panting. You want me to believe in your dog? Your dog can't, like, merely existing just to simply live is a labor for this dog. Wake up, board buddies. Yeah, it's a clone. It's not no real Boerboel. Look, I'll show you what one to do. Better than I could tell you. I can show you better than I could tell you. Real Boerboel action, real Boerboel activities. You see my stud dogs get up there and hit it? That's what a stud dog does. Let's get back into the lesson because I gotta go. I got my babies here. And I didn't want y'all to think that I was gone somewhere. Yeah, I said it and I meant it. And I'm gonna say it again and I'll say it again. You know, if you come from me, you better be ready. Pedigreed. That means that the registration organization has documented the lineage of your dog. That's all that it means, that you have knowledge of the grandparents, great-grandparents, father, mother. This information is valuable to a breeder or to someone who is an enthusiast or someone who is a little bit more into it, because I can reliably predict what is my dog going to look like. How is my dog going to behave? How is my dog going to produce? We can reliably predict these things. That is the relevance of a pedigree. It doesn't mean that your dog is better than the next person's. All too often we getting caught up in trying to be better than someone. You cannot judge. You're not. Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? We all are here. We all have value. We all have gift. We all have talents. And everyone is in their own world. Everyone is doing their own thing. We're going to get to the questions, board buddies. Just be patient with me. Just be patient. We're going to get there. So pedigree means that that lineage can be traced. That's all that it means. And it's with a non-biased registering governing body. I like simplicity, simplistic lifestyle. I'm looking at the Boerboel. Simple lifestyle. Hey, y'all, hush. Simplicity. I'm not chasing you down to give you my money so you can tell me how you like my dog, what you believe to be is correct. That's not the role of the organization and the registration. Your job is to simply record this information so that if someone was ever to reach out to you and try to gather data about this dog, that you can relay the information. So I'm a fan of simplicity. That's why I like the AKC and the NKC. I got a very particular interest with the NKC because this is a working organization. It's a bulldog, lots of bulldog breeders and influence, which is I feel that the Boerboel is very comparable to the bulldog. They have events for working dogs. You can compete. It's more than just a show. They got a lot of hunting trials, and it's really respected with working men. Very simple. They're not trying to regulate. All I would like for you to do is record this information, send it out, keep it in a database. If someone needs to access the information, you can give it to them. You got people there. You can call the AKC, you can call the NKC, you can reach someone. Someone will get back to you. With some of these other organizations like NABA, NABER, SABS, SABER, all of them other you can't get in touch with someone. You got to chase them down all over the country. You got to sweat them about your paperwork. They want to try to regulate and check, tell you what you can and can't do, what you will and won't say. Listen, I live in a free world, America, and I do what I want to do within reason. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. All I want to do is my dogs and my family, and that's it. Go head on with all of that, trying to check me and to correct me. I don't need to be corrected. I don't need to be corrected. Well, buddies, use your own brain. Think on your own. Stop trying to don't let nobody stop be trying to tell you what you have to do and what you're doing is wrong and what you believe is right and what's working for you is incorrect. It don't make no sense to me. You can't tell me what works for my lifestyle. And that's what this is. So it really boils down to, like I said, and I'm gonna say it again, and like I said it before, assessing and value or establishing value in the dog space. Lots of people want to say that my dog is better than yours, is worth more, you should pay me. And then you got the people that got visual eyes can see, I like this dog better. I don't care what this organization is saying is correct, because remember, it's an organization of breeders ran by breeders, overseeing breeders that's producing puppies. So they're always going to try to put their own dog better than yours. Their ice is colder, their sugar is sweeter. Yours is wrong. They try to tell my man Gerald his dog was only a 75.2, had him walked away, holding his head hanging low. I say, listen to me, bro. They did the same thing to me. They're not judging your dog. They judging you as an individual. Don't worry about the dog. We're going to take off. And I took the dog and we put it up on my website and we bred the dog a whole bunch of times, a whole bunch of different ways. And then we arrive at about the rest is history. You see the record. Let the record reflect. Barbarian big ears. They tried to play him, rate him down to 75.2. That's what I'm saying. These organizations is full of doo-doo. Thank you, family. I really appreciate that. I'm going to definitely keep on giving it to you straight, not late. This is why I came here today. I missed last week. I was on the plane. I will get it in no matter where I'm at. Even on, if I didn't have to jump into airplane mode, if I didn't have to go into airplane mode, I would have recorded on the airplane. I missed y'all last week, so I'm gonna make up, and I almost missed again today. But I said, you know what? I wouldn't want nobody to think for 1 second that I was tucking tail, ducking the smoke. Man, come on. You feel me, Corey? You must have been to one of them scorings. So next, with we got 3 or 4 more terms, 4 or 5 more terms that we're gonna discuss, and we're gonna pull off. But we're talking about a mix. Now, mix, that could be any unknown lineage. All of these dogs are mixes. Anything that is not pure, and all dogs arrive from mixes. So all dogs are mixes. A mix means that the two families of the mother and the father are unrelated. So you're mixing unrelated genes. When you get into purity, that means that the dogs are totally related. There is no mixing. There is no unknown lineage. There is no unknown. Everything comes from the same family. That's when you call purity. So that means that the mother could have bred to the brother. The father could have bred to the daughter. The sister could have bred to the brother. So that's pure. Pure blood. That's how you create pure blood. Look it up if you don't believe me. Thank you, family. Yeah, Boerboels. Boerboels and bulldogs are very comparable. If you see, because remember, it's been bred for utility. A lot of the different styles and bulldogs, Johnson, Scott, Painter, very different dogs, but they still bulldogs the same way that you got different styles of Boerboels: tall ones, small ones, big ones, wide ones, short ones, thick ones. Lots of different varieties. Bulldog, hounds, terriers, mastiffs. Back to the lesson though. A mutt or a mix, all dogs are mixes. All dogs arrive because of two dogs coming together, two breeds in the interest in the of function. We're trying to create better hunting dogs. We're trying to create better herding dogs. We're trying to create better dogs for tracking. And you got a dog that tracks raccoons great, and I got a dog that tracks deers great. And then so we breeding together, and you take the ones that track the deers, and I'll take the ones that track the raccoons, and we got new dogs to breed back into our old dogs. And this is how dogs are created and evolved and remain healthy and strong and intact. That's a good question. We'll get to your question, Dante. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna answer all of the questions because that's a good one. And people seem to believe that the Boerboels in America are smaller than those in Africa, but the Boerboels in America oftentimes come from Africa. Mutt. Now I see people trying to use this as like a derogatory term, and that simply means that you come from varied history. That you come from, to me, a mutt would be unknown lineage, something like a bastard. You would have not knowing where you come from, and it doesn't make your dog any less of valuable than it doesn't mean that your dog is less than. A lot of times in what they traditionally call a mutt is any dog that's not pure. So I guess all dogs are mutts, and they try to throw that stuff around to demean, destroy, make you feel like you're less than. It's an attack. Oh, you breeding mutts. Well, guess what? All dogs are mutts. It's a derogatory term. Line means that it's within the same family, immediate family. All breeds are within the same family and within the same line. So that's with a family within a family. All dog breeds are families of dogs. All families of all lines are families within families, if that makes sense. And in order to establish a line, there has to be a common ancestor on the top of the pedigree and the bottom. And what we're doing is we're trying to breed towards that ancestor. That's how you establish a line. And our final term of the day is scatterbred, right on time. We're going to get off of this, and I'm going to answer your questions, and then we're going to get up out of here. Scatterbred. Now, this is my preferred style of breeding when it comes to the Boerboel. It's not one particular line, but you have a lots of variants. You have a lots of varieties. You have not many common ancestors repeating in the pedigree. They typically would call this scatterbred because there is no reoccurring theme, reoccurring ancestor, and you kind of get a little bit of scattered results. You might have small dogs, tall dogs, you might have short dogs, you might have thick dogs, you might have wide dogs. And the whole thing with breeding is you would like to be able to predict, because like I said, anytime you miss, no, we just talking right now. But anytime you miss, you could be set back multiple years. Now, and it applies to the Toro. It also applies to mini dogs. We're gonna get into these questions. If y'all anything that you could think of, and it don't necessarily have to do with dogs. What I would prefer if it did have to do with dogs, please let's try to keep it dogs. But yeah, let's get into these questions. This is a great one. Are Boerboels prone to false pregnancies? Yeah. See, this is what we talk about when we say breed your dog early, breed your dog often, back to back to back to back to back, and then spay. Every time you skip heats, every time she misses a heat, you increases the chances of complications. Why? Well, it forms like these pustules in the lining of the uterus because it's not flushed out, doesn't recover the way that it was. It's like it forms bumps on the uterus. So it messes the uterus up. Breed your dog early and often. Don't wait 3-4 years and then try to start getting with the breeding. You already knew that you was gonna breed the dog when you bought the dog. Who is that? Answer it or send it to the voicemail. So Boerboels, yeah, because it's a large dog, it's a big dog. Yes, that could happen. You could get false pregnancies because the dog's body is going to assume that it's pregnant every single time that she goes in heat. The dog is going to assume that it's pregnant. The body is going to go through all of the things that it would happen if it's pregnant. Mammary glands might swell up. It might even get the abdomen might swell up, but no puppies are in there. So yeah, you need to breed early and often, and that's why you got to keep your dog active and fit. Another problem that you see with Boerboels is fatness, lack of muscle. A lot of these dogs sitting up in the crate all day, so they don't build the physique. They're not burning off the calories, and they're just getting fed and fed some more. And what tends to happen is they don't have a demand to justify that type of intake. So what happens is that weight just sits on them and they get out of shape and they become unfit for breeding. So that's another reason for false pregnancy. Thank you, family. All right, let's go here. First time Boerboel owner. Thank you for sharing. I'm happy to share it because I just think about myself. And I'm always putting myself in your shoes. And what would I do? How could I be better for myself, which is you, which is me? And that's how I think about it. Thank you, Keith Moore. I respect you. I appreciate that, man. It really does help. Oops. Thanks, family. The Toros. Now, yeah, I would be happy. That I definitely the Toros. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it definitely is a replica. Or yeah, they is all one. Get to these comments. Why are the Boerboels in America smaller than those in Africa? I'm not sure that's 100% accurate. I would have to. I think that the Boerboels from Africa, the Boerboels in America, came from Africa. So I don't think that's entirely accurate. And if you're suggesting that it a result of crossing, most of the time when you cross dogs, they get bigger. So I don't think that that's the case at all. Best money I ever had was a man. Speaking on the Toro line, no. What's going on, Sykes? Yes, we can speak on the Toros. Definitely. Our whole reason for doing the Toro experiment is really not so much for the Boerboel, but the genetics will be there in case. It's more of enhanced bully. I really don't see a whole lot that the bully has to offer to the Boerboel. I see that the Boerboel has a lot to offer to the bully. And I think that in terms of aesthetics, I like the way that the Boerboel looks already. So I don't think that it needs a whole lot to improve. But I think that the Boerboels, the bully, it definitely is advantageous for them, because people are impressed with the appearance of the Boerboel. They want to see that thickness, that idea of power that gives you the impression of power. It makes the dog a better, more effective deterrent. So the fact that, he can win fights without having to fight, win battles without having to fight. That is the indication of a skilled warrior. Can you win fights, battles without fighting? That is an indicator of a skilled warrior. Well, when you see a high concentration of color, that's based off of selection. So it depends on which breeders that you're looking at. You're gonna see differences in each family, each kennel with dogs, color. The dogs that we imported here in the United States may be based off of what was popular at the time, and I think that that really is depending on who you're looking at. That has more so to do with who you're looking at. I don't like to get on make like generalizations. So I don't think that it's just I don't think that they red have more red colors over there. I don't know. You know, just to be honest, I don't know. And then we cannot discuss numbers on here or nowhere. We're buddies. 36 minutes in. I enjoyed the time that we got to spend together. I hope that it was valuable for you too. Wasn't as you know, prepared as I'd like to be, but I'll do better next week. Hey, all we can do is just try to get better every time. We're buddies. I'm a real person though. And I took time away from my family today just to be here with y'all. So I hope that you appreciate that. And then, you know, if y'all want me to make it up for missing last week, I could do some squats, some exercises or whatever, you know, because I'm about accountability. And I could have put up a post. Hey, I'm going to be out of town. I won't be able to catch up with y'all this week. I'll see y'all next week. If y'all want me to make it up to y'all with some exercise or something, shoot me a thing. I'll get busy right here on the live, because it's not just about dogs. This is the dog life that we live on this channel. Dog life. So we trying to, you know, get better in all aspects of life, not just dogs. So we gonna exercise because we gonna be ready. We're not gonna have to get ready. And I got a Boerboel workout that I share with you. If you want to work out with me, if y'all want me to do weight makeup for when I let you down, I can do that. Missed out on last week, no call, no show, and there's no excuses for that. Boy, buddies, stay busy. Don't never give up, and don't take nothing for granted. Every chance you give it your all, because you never know. 500 push-ups. 500. I got you, family. I got 500. 500. 500 is coming up. Hold on. Let me show you what I'll be doing, though. Hold on, what you doing? 500. 500. I got you. See, I'm going to show y'all something. Look, poor buddies, I do these too. Now these are real deal. I did these before. This the Boerboel. Did that Boerboel work? This ain't no joke. DJ. Let me show you this one time. You get these right here. And then you go, to the knee, up. See, this that Boerboel work. We're buddies. I wasn't counting. How many was that? We could get it in. We can start doing dog workouts every day. All right, board buddies. Let's get it. See how iron sharpens iron? See how we inspire and motivate each other? That's all I want to do, board buddies. See y'all next week.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you got a deal run up. No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and now you got a deal run up. Old gang, old man, old school, young jam.